Hey people, I got to talk to my nephew last night about 15 minutes. He had a baby born with leukemia about 4 years ago, and he's been an activist since. He's been shut down more times than me. So he spent the past several years in hospitals with no history of any kind of disease on either sides of the family. He possibly blames it on Monsanto, so he gets shut down all the time. He's highly intelligent, very musically inclined. He grew up thick in the church and kind of had a falling out when they told him that his chosen partner wasn't up to par. And that's a great help for the awakening. So I woke up out of a dream this morning, and it was easy to tell it was talking about the side door. And the Hebrew words were coming up and narrating my dream, and I woke up just a couple seconds short before I got the last word in, and it was starting with biblio, and I'm seeing it was longer. And so I googled the longest words in Hebrew, because my dreams always tell me something. So this longest word in Hebrew comes up, a 19-letter word, and they say it means encyclopedia, or and when our encyclopedias. And if we blow it up big, if you read this word backwards, they say this isn't in the Bible, but it's a Hebrew word. But if we blow it up, we can see that they understand that these words read backwards. When it wide, W-N, when, I-T, it, W-I-D, wide, P-U-L, wide pool, and then F-I-S, fits, F-I-T-S, fits in. When a wide pool fits in, an encyclopedia. And then A-L-S-C-H, A, and actually two L's with the dot. All such, S-C-H, all such, and then who. And this was the clue that this word read backwards. It starts with an I. And so all such, how, why, who, why, and then the other way, which sell, S-E, Shah, S-E-L-L, which sell on, and then X, on, A-N-X, on its fluidity, what into. A fluidity is ability to flow easily. And so on its flow, pity, small, pity. On its flow, small, what into. And so it gives a little bit of everything is what it's saying. When it wide pool, backwards, when it wide pool, a wide pool of knowledge fits in all, such, why, meaning how or who, how, such how, which, sell on its, and then sell on its sea, flew, pity, the flow of small, what into. And so about half y'all thinking I'm crazy right now, but if you go down to the bottom here, and these references, this one here, it's going to come up all Hebrew. But if you go ahead and hit your translator, you can get a read on this. And the translator works in the modern Hebrew somewhat. They still have some secrets. But you can see, the longest word in Hebrew, one must divine what is meant by word. If the reference is to any sequence of letters written without a space between them, and which together carry a certain meaning, then there are rather long words in Hebrew. In these words, letters of use were added at the beginning of the basic word, and inflectional forms at the end. In English, for example, the same sequence in meaning is written in a few words. For example, in Hebrew we can say one word, and when it is eaten, and when it is eaten, takes 5 words, where the Hebrew is one word, and it's not actually one word, it's a base word, which most of the roots are only 3 letters long. And so that's when I read this, I break it down into all the words, because the base words, don't get longer than 3 letters. And that's why I started breaking the small words down in a letter meaning chart. The UN is connect the cycle, means when, and then the make seal, the work seal, the work writings, it's written meaning, when it, wide, to make through. If it's narrow, it's hard to make through it, but wide is easy to make through. And then pool, that's coming from the old Egyptian letter for a pool, and it's the face to bind, and it's also used for their letter P, when the wide pool fits in, FITSN. So this didn't give me much help to find the word that I was looking for, but in my search of these references I had ran into something else. And I had to come check it out because it's my angel number. This is my number that comes up all the time. When I joined the Navy, I was 17, and this was the hull number on my ship, the 117. And if I'm sleeping in a car during a ride, when I wake up and look at the mile marker to see where I'm at, this is usually where I'm at. And it has this symbol that I was trying to explain in that last movie. And it comes in a real good place because this line reads forward and backwards due to this line, and shows how different uses it has. And it starts with this word, hallelujah is where this comes from. They use in the church all the time to praise. They don't even know what they're saying. It comes up twice. You see it down here at the end too. The hallelujah, praise ya, hallelujah. The Egyptian moon god Yah, hell to ya. But has this little mark here, which has you turn around and read the other way, and so it's hell, He, the hell, and then turn around, the hell of, ELL, and then back the other way, another L, hell of, and then E, and then the other N, the U, who, the hell of who, Luta, luta, hell of who, luta, have you, backwards and forwards, EVE to have, YEW. This is Eve, EVE. Your wife was Eve, to have and to hold, have, and then YEWU, the, have you, the call. Hell of who, Luther, have you, the call. And so Luther, this is coming from the old German, it means the wicked. Hell of who, Luther, have you, the call. Hell of who, wicked, have you, the call. And then the little tack here has you read this backwards and forwards, and it's M, and from, jug, the jug. And the little dot in the G lets you know there's 2 G's, and so it's G-U-I-S, to jug guys. And jug comes from your jugular. It's the old Roman word for a yoke. And this shows you a lot about the ancient language. In the Latin it was the jugum. And this UM, is kind of legal, and you can read it in the front as them, meaning singular or plural. And them jug, the jug. And even in the old Latin, sometimes you could just pronounce it as an S. A final M as an S, the jugs. Your jug, what you drinking from, your yoke. And then the juggle them, them juggle. They got you by the neck, you're juggling. He got you juggling 4 jobs. You juggling that yoke, them juggle. The one juggling is jugular, his jugular. You can see it's the same word with the M at the other end, you know, from the jug. And so this call, it doesn't mean all, it means a call of, to selection. You know, you can see on the first day he made the light the or. And so a cull or is a selective light, not all light. So hell, and then L of who? H-U, who luta, who wicked have you, to cull from jug guys. And you can see in the middle of that word the why, meaning how, who, or why, you know, to cull from a jug of wise. And then these mark on top, they have different markings, but this one is a directional mark. It just means after you read this to read the S again. So to cull from the jug of wise is, you know, it's the hiss of the S, is bitch to whose bitch you are, you know, is bitch to whose, you know, the S comes back and reads again, of whose. So it's reading K-L-M-Y, and then M, and the A-E is E-S, to clammy, and then the S-A-M-M-I-S, the clammy Sammies. You know, that would be here, Sammy, you know, my sandwiches. In that story you heard about the Duke inventing the sandwich, that's a crock. And so you can see other base words in there, you know, the Ami, the mother, S, the Amis, the mothers. And so if it was reading this way, it wouldn't be Sammy's, you know, it was to call the mothers. But this, so Ash, this top secret knowledge, you know. And you can see it again up here, it's separated, I didn't catch it, the A-E. So it changes this to the way who, a call. Hell of who loots, way who, the call from jug of wise. Hell who's playing the lute and singing a song about why, jug of wise, all the reasons why you're your jug of wise. Is bitcha who's called me sandwich, me Sammies, you know, is the ones with playing a lute singing about why is the bitch of who makes my sandwich, not qualified to make my sandwich is what it says. You know, they're singing songs and asking why are the roses red, you know, cull from the jug of wise, the looters, you know, because these are poets writing. And hell to the looters, the one playing the lute and singing about why is it like this, is bitcha who's clammy me sandwich, you know, make my sandwich. But these are also master alchemists that's writing this. And so lute has several meanings. You know, it's also a cement used for grafting. You know, Johnny Appleseed would be one that would be a looter. But it also meant, you know, to seal or join with loot. You know, the loot, there's no looting in between this. Those were the fools with the loot. But it's also the fool that knew the digit code of the loot. The jester, the fool. So the second half of this is pretty much anchored. You know, he's telling about, you use the bitcha who's calling me sandwich. You know, you're the bitch of who's fixing my sandwich. And the beginning of it is alchemy. It can mean several things. Hell of who loots, the way have to cull from the jug of wise. You know, hell who loot, way have who cull from the jug of wise. So Theodore's doing good. He was having his remission party yesterday. And Nathan might leave a list of the charities that helped the most below. But this is the shortest chapter in the Bible. It's only these 2 lines. And this second line will give us a lot better. And within these 2 lines, it gives us most of the punctuation that you run in here that gives you directional. So that's part 2.
Don't forget, hooty hoot, hooty hoot. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.